Hello, welcome to the Snap UK. You're a dirty dog, Paul. Welcome to the Week 1 review. We had a fake one on Friday because Thursday last week because it was Friday because me and Jim were bored, effectively. But we are now here at Chateau Paul with Paul and Griff.
Hello.
Gary has a penis touching anxiety or something. Jim just has better places to be, doesn't he? So doesn't want to be here.
I mean, it's not the same. Like, you know, it doesn't feel the same if I say they have like genital warts or something like that, does it? Like
what we used to do to you.
Yeah,
I know. But yeah, they're not here because they lack commitment. But the strong and the more intelligent members of the team
are away this week.
So you got us. So you're left with us. And it was I thought it was a thoroughly interesting week one
for a league that markets itself as you can't make this up. You would struggle to make this up. I thought there was some really fascinating results. There was some, obviously, a rather large bit of news coming from the New York Jets. Jordan Whitehead got his interception bonus. So
Yay.
That was big news. But there was some players who clearly didn't play as well as they thought they were going to be. There's some players who won't play again this season. It was just fascinating. And I've probably never been more glued to Red Zone and ignoring my family.
Well, can I just say fuck DAZN, because I used to be able to watch Game Pass app no matter where I was in the world. I couldn't watch it because I was on holiday this week, and it won't let you watch it in foreign territories, and I don't have a VPN. So next time I go away, I'll have to have a VPN or some, which also just I don't understand that. I don't understand it. It sounds like money for I don't know. So mine's based on highlights. But yeah.
Why do you need a variable penis name?
Because I need to pretend that my penis name's Francois because I was in Paris.
You're in Paris.
And yeah, because you go on DAZN, the first question is, what's the name of your penis?
It might as well be for the amount of passwords I get asked for these days. Jesus Christ.
DAZN has not been as bad as it seemed when it first, but yeah, it seems to have been an absolute clusterfuck. So just bring it back in house, please.
It must be one of the signs of the apocalypse that I have not had any trouble with the app, and everyone else has struggled, because that is not normally how shit goes down in my world. Oh no! But I've managed to watch it on my phone, my laptop, and the TV.
So I watched the Browns Bengals on RTL, which is German.
Nice.
Joe Burrow wasn't doing very well, was he?
9-9. I understood that, and yeah, and then gut zonal defense, and yeah, good diamond package, and you're like, oh yeah, I know German.
That's what you should have said as your penis name. You've probably been able to watch it.
I know.
Diamond package.
Yeah. Anyway, should we get into the big news? Or
it was big news.
Big news. But Paul, do you want to take us through the classified results before we start?
Week 1 of the NFL season, Detroit Lions 21, Kansas City Chiefs 20, Atlanta Falcons 24, Carolina Panthers 10, Baltimore Ravens 25, Houston Texans 9, Cleveland Browns 24, Cincinnati Bengals 3, Jacksonville Jaguars 31, Indianapolis Colts 21, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20, Minnesota Vikings 17, New Orleans Saints 16, Tennessee Titans 15, San Francisco 49ers 30, Pittsburgh Steelers 7, the Washington Commanders 20, Arizona Cardinals 16, Green Bay Packers 38, Chicago Bears 20, Las Vegas Raiders 17, Denver Broncos 16, Miami Dolphins 36, Los Angeles Chargers 34, Philadelphia Eagles 25, New England Patriots 20, Los Angeles Rams 30, Seattle Seahawks 13, Dallas Cowboys 40, New York Giants unclassified.
Oh shit, yeah.
They were pretty terrible.
They were
we'll get
on to them.
Do you know that rundown? That's grand, but it is definitely missing a Houston Texans, Jacksonville Jaguars postponed waterlogged pitch. Yeah. That's what's missing from my childhood right there.
This week's late kickoff.
Yes, exactly. Tennessee, Washington Commanders. Evening kickoff.
Classified pools results.
Late results.
That's what's missing. Yeah. The classified pools results. That was classified
pools results.
Boom! We've just named that segment. Excellent stuff. I'm glad we've done on-air production meeting. That's made my day. I'm done.
Yeah, let's go.
Mic drop.
Stop it. Stop recording now.
Available for sponsorship.
Yeah.
I will pull you up on Caroline Panthers. Is she someone you visit? She sounds tremendous.
She's older than a cougar.
Never good. Right. So, big news.
I purposely went on a website where I'd have the full team name so I wouldn't mess up as I messed up.
Absolutely.
Good.
Caroline Panthers. She sounds amazing. John, Paul.
Hello.
I have to get serious for a minute.
Okay.
Because we don't want to go down the Schadenfreude route too much. So, Aaron Rodgers. If you want to believe that the NFL has a script, and I love the fact they're leaning into that, by the way.
Yeah.
Is this the biggest shock that they could produce from a script? Or is it simply the football god's way of kicking the Jets in the nuts again?
It's just so Jets, isn't it?
I think what made it so perfect for me was Jordan Love looked really good. He looked serviceable.
He looked better than serviceable.
I thought it looked good.
He looked excellent.
But, yeah, I mean, the mad thing is, they still won. And
against one of the best teams in the league on paper.
On paper.
The Bills are seriously receding this season.
Yeah.
They do not look ready to go. And I think Josh Allen is now 0-5 against the Jets, or 0-6 against the Jets. He is not good against the Jets. But so Aaron Rodgers has basically torn his Achilles clean in half. There is a wonderful slow-mo video where you can watch it pop up his sock, which is a tremendous thing to see. Now, this is a disaster for the Jets. This was a Jets franchise that truly, for the first time since 1999, when they had Vinny Testaverde under centre, truly believed they were contending for a Super Bowl. Does anyone remember what happened to Vinny Testaverde? Vinny Testaverde lasted 6 plays and broke his Achilles.
Yes.
And the Jets went 8-8 that season. And I believe Parcells said it was the greatest coaching job he ever did, because he ran about 3 or 4 other quarterbacks that season. Right? It's happening again. This is a loaded, stacked Jets team that, with the right helmsman, is a Super Bowl contender. The defense is excellent. The offensive youngsters are excellent. What they no longer have is a captain. We are told they are sticking with Zach
The motherfucker.
Wilson. Now, I will contend right now, Zach Wilson cannot win more than 5 more games this season. That will be 6. That will not be enough. What say you?
I say you're absolutely wrong. I'm happy to plant my flag in the mountain that is Zach Wilson. I think he is going to... I mean, you look at the squad depth compared to when he was the number 2 overall pick and the great hope there, compared to the squad depth they have now. They've got probably one of the best running back depths in the league.
It's certainly good.
Yeah.
They've got good wide-out depth.
They've got Garrett Wilson and some good other players.
Yeah. They've got...
But Garrett Wilson does seem to be like a cheat code. And the problem with him last season was Zach Wilson just didn't pass to him compared to Mike fucking White and Joe Old Man Flacco, who threw to him a lot and unlocked the fact that he was brilliant.
But there's a difference. He's O'Roy now. So
yeah.
There's a certain level of play that has to go through O'Roy. I think, just to finish off my point there, I think almost you've got such a level of squad depth, and when you compare that to the other teams in that division, I could still see them making the playoffs. And then it's anyone's game.
I look at their next 3 games. He's got to face the Cowboys. That Cowboys defense will give him nightmares.
The over-under for Zach Wilson picks against the Cowboys, I will set the bar at 3.
I'll go over.
I'd like to play the week 1 alarm where the New York Giants just got out-schemed by Dan Quinn. It's week 1.
Oh, yeah. We'll come to these things.
Absolutely.
But
concentrating on Zach Wilson and on their schedule, as you say, Cowboys, then
Patriots, then the Chiefs.
Now, let's be fair. The Patriots may or may not be scary, but if they are, it's the defence that's scary.
It's the defence. The cornerback.
How many ghosts can he possibly see, do you think? Because we've made other quarterbacks see ghosts. We could make him see ghosts.
But you're a different team from the ghost team. I think.
Sure.
Couldn't you just throw him... Bill licking his lips at the thought of playing a 17-year-old Disney high school quarterback, like just what he could do. I know it's not the same team, but he still has a great defense. Admittedly, that were blown away quickly this week, week 1, all that stuff. I think it isn't until he gets to the Broncos in week 5. Oh, but then next week it's the Eagles.
Oh yeah, they got the Eagles too.
So
there is more chance of them being 1-5 than there is of them being 3-3.
Yeah.
Nah.
With Zach Wilson.
So he's looked good for a game before.
Yeah.
And
he didn't look that good in this game.
And then the next thing that happens is the next team just destroys him and he throws the ball to random people. I think, they're in a position now that they didn't obviously plan for. You've got to roll with your boy because he's still a first-round pick. You look at what the humble pie San Francisco have had to eat with Trey Lance. You got to, he's our guy. The whole point of Rodgers now is that in 3 years' time, Zach Wilson is ready to take over. But I think they need a harsh words here, proper quarterback.
I agree.
I disagree. I think this team is a lot better than people are giving it credit for.
The team's brilliant. He's shit.
But this is, I think also it's the things that would usually affect someone in his position. A team like the Jets would usually, in the past, have a new coach every season. They've had Salah for 2 years now.
Yeah.
3 years, third year.
Third year. So there's continuity that comes with that.
Salah is brilliant defensively, but offensively, he was going to be relying on Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Rodgers' boy Nathaniel Hackett. Do you remember Nathaniel Hackett from last year?
Oh yeah, bollock.
Yeah. Now, how do you think Nathaniel Hackett's going to get on with a very inexperienced and potentially rubbish quarterback as his main man?
But Nathaniel Hackett with a point to prove. Nathaniel Hackett, who got absolutely ripped apart.
He had a point to prove last year.
Yeah, I don't think. I think the ship is good. The captain is now back. So
I'd like to reinforce my confidence in this position by offering Paul's £5 bet tonight.
Okay. What's the what are the stakes?
I bet each of you £5 English,
including the 2 that aren't here.
No.
Just John and I.
Screw them. If they
Can't be asked to turn up.
You want
penis touching anxiety means you can't be here.
You want the money? You come see me, right? I bet you both £5 English, as in I will pay you £5 if I am inaccurate. You will pay me £5 if I am correct.
He knows how betting works. That's good.
So the parlay, no. The New York Jets will still finish second or higher in that division.
I will take your money.
I'll take your money. Yeah.
We have a cord. Not a chance. They are the Belichick and the Patriots are now looking at that going, we don't have to finish last.
Yeah.
We don't have to finish last.
Yeah. The
only way there is a hope in hell of that happening is if they bring in another quarterback soon. You say they won't do it. I say, look around. Who do you think they could bring in if they were bringing in? let's park the Tom Brady thing. He will not play for the Jets.
Yeah.
And even if he did, he'd get hammered. Because the one thing they don't have is an O-line, which is why Zach Wilson will be running for his life and Aaron Rodgers can't ever run again.
And it's why, Floyd was riding Aaron Rodgers before he popped his Achilles.
Yeah, it wasn't. Dwayne Brown and Mekhi Becton did not do well.
Who's available? So the biggest name I can think of, Carson Wentz.
Oh, why? Why would you? He's rubbish.
No, or he's rubbish. And for a couple of years, I was a Wentz, not believer, supporter, I guess. And then he went and ruined it by being shit for 3 years. You could bring back Old Man Flacco.
Old Man Flacco, but it's a different system. That's the problem. So the club know him, but he doesn't know the Hackett system. And also cannot move behind a poor O-line.
Big Nick Dick.
Big Nick Dick?
Big Dick Nick, even.
Nick Foles has been terrible every time he's not been an Eagle.
Yeah. Matt Ryan.
He's playing in green.
Can't move.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that Carson Wentz with no knees, Matt Ryan with the only thing he's got is his brain, but he's got a media career now. Old Man Flacco, who,
but I'm sure Matt Ryan would love to get back on the field and stop the 28-3 references coming in because
he did get slaughtered.
He got slaughtered.
Yeah,
bless him. He looked like he died.
are any of these next week a viable option better than Zach Wilson?
No.
So here's my thought: is it possible that the Jets go and reacquire Mike White, who's at the Dolphins? Because Mike White, up and down, but better than Zach Wilson.
I think the capital you have in Zach Wilson with this situation, you have to go with it.
They are in on this season. Okay, fair enough. Then my next question is, does Aaron Rodgers ever play again as a Jet?
Yeah.
Jim thinks he will. I think this is game over.
I think he'll be back next season because he has to be. To have all this fanfare and all
They
this...
let him run out with the flag and everything.
It was so funny watching it back. Because, of course, you see it all on Instagram. For me as well, because I couldn't watch it. So I went on Instagram in the morning, and it was Aaron carrying the flag, and then Aaron, doing his throws in practice, dapping up players on the sideline, and you're like laughing, going, "Well, I know what happens."
I have two more quarterbacks to throw into the mix. See what you tell me. I don't think either of them would be available, but tell me what you think. Jameis and Andy Dalton. Either of those make those a better team.
I think either of those make them better.
Andy Dalton is backing up Bryce Young at the Panthers.
Yep. And Jameis is at the Saints.
At the Saints. Now, Jameis is more likely to be available because I don't think they'll want Bryce Young to be unsupported. But both of those players make the Jets a better team.
Disagree.
Than Zach Wilson.
Could they do something?
Has he been looking at a different Zach Wilson?
But you're judging Zach Wilson of old with a much different roster. This is one of the strongest.
It's not that different, no.
I think you're wrong. Completely wrong.
Well, I know you do. But next week when he throws 4 picks and is sacked 11 times.
And do you know what? If he is, so be it. But I think he will surprise people.
You believe Salah believes in Zach Wilson?
I think he has to. That's the difference.
No, that's not what I said. Do you think he does? Because if he doesn't, if they go 1-5 or basically if they're under 500 after 6 games, he's gone. He will not start again for that team. Sure.
Yeah. No, I like...
And even with Aaron Rodgers, the chances are they were only going to be off to a 500 start.
But was he under centre when Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles?
Was who under centre?
Zach Wilson?
No, that would have been a much better result for the Jets.
Yeah.
No, it's not his fault what's happened. But the point is they have a run.
I'm just thinking out loud here. He came into the game.
Yeah.
And they beat the Bills.
Who looked awful. That's the worst the Bills have played in 3 years.
But have they got elite players on that defense for the Jets?
Yes, they do.
Sauce Gardner and Quinn Williams are great players.
But the defense is brilliant. But I just remember Zach Wilson And if he's going to, the fact it's the Cowboys next week scares the shit out of me. It doesn't. It makes me laugh my tits off. Just to think the amount of, and Garrett Wilson's brilliant. He's coming up against, this team has 75% of its budget effectively in the defense. It's incredible. Tavon Diggs is going to be laughing his fucking tits off. It is what it is. It's unfortunate for them. It doesn't make it anything any less funny for me.
I think what we do here is we move on, and either one of us or two of us are proved wrong.
There is.
We'll come back
on for the fact that they did actually beat the Bills.
They did
on an overtime punt return from Xavier Gibson, who wasn't on the squad until the week before. He was the Hard Knocks fan favourite, and he made it through.
Yeah.
And what a script! What a script to follow.
Yep,
love it.
It was what a result. I was genuinely pleased for them. I have nothing against the Jets. I should do as a Patriot, but I don't, because that franchise deserves better. But you don't just get it because people think you deserve it.
No, and as well, why were they in the position? A doink.
Oh yes, a doink.
The Bills kicker doinked it off the post.
Well, that went through, didn't it? Did he not doink it and in?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
He doinked it and in.
I have to remember, I'm watching it on a thing, so
in German.
in German.
No, he doinked it and in.
it's still doink in German.
So yeah, it's a doink, but I'm really disappointed in the Bills and Josh Allen. I think I had big hopes for not for the Bills, but for Josh Allen to return.
See, now that's where I would suggest the week one alarm can be played. Yes, they're going to be slightly regressed from last year.
Yeah,
but
they will come good.
They are still a playoff contender. Their Super Bowl window is smaller than it has been for the last 2 years, but it is still a Super Bowl window.
Yeah,
they don't have a running game.
No,
they've got nothing.
Yeah,
when your running game is your quarterback, you're in trouble. And
Kareem Hunt is free, guys.
That remains their problem. Yeah.
So was Dalvin Cook.
They got the wrong Cook.
Yeah.
But we're making it seem like this is a problem this year. That's been a problem the entire reign of Sean McDermott.
And that is why they don't have a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
One of you guys want to pick one of your overreactions from week one?
I think I just did.
Wow. Yeah.
Rams are good, aren't they?
I love it. That's where I was going. Matt Stafford's back again.
Yes.
I love this. He picked out a guy whose name I can't pronounce and used him like he was Cooper Kupp.
Poconoa?
That's the fella. I wouldn't, but that's the fella.
Yeah.
Something like that. I can't pronounce it. I haven't bothered to look it up. He was amazing. He had 1 million yards. Everyone's going to go wild for him in fantasy. And he probably will be good until Cooper Kupp comes back, which won't be until at least week 5. But Stafford, with time to throw the ball, I was also going to go the other side of this. Whoa, didn't the Seahawks look bad?
Yeah.
Puka Nakua.
That's the fella. Sounds like something you can eat.
The Poconos is a place people go on holiday, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not sure which one of these two things was more true, whether Stafford is back making the Rams good or whether the Seahawks have dissipated massively and made the Rams look good. I suspect it might be B.
Yeah, that's the thing that worries me. I don't think
anyone believes Geno can be what he was last year.
No, I don't think for a lot. I don't think he needs to be, because the thing with Geno at the beginning of last season was just how accurate he was, and how and I think this at the end of the season it really tailed off, but we just needed it to be good Geno, not the sort of excellent Geno Smith that started the season. But
my favourite moment of the entire week of the NFL is that clip that's done the rounds of you can hear Geno Smith shout, "Oh my God!"
Yeah,
as Aaron Donald's coming one-on-one at him.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you double Aaron Donald on every play?
Well,
I don't suppose it's possible on every play, but the guy is
incredible.
A monster. And it could be a comeback season for him too. I said it last year. I'm going to say it again. Everyone looks at me with a frown when I do. Geno Smith is the Black Fitzmagic, right? He is up and down, up and down. Like, you don't know. Don't forget the Fitzmagic season he had with the Jets where he got them almost to the playoffs and then fell apart in the last game. Geno is the same. He's had years floating around in the background. He's got now this opportunity. Last year he was hot. This year he might Fitzmagic and crater, but he might occasionally throw in a magic game. And that's what you're going to get. You don't forget, Geno Smith, I believe, is the second ever youngest quarterback with a perfect passer rating back in 2014. Like, randomly, he has these hot games or hot streaks where he's actually quite good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think...
Don't forget his career was destroyed by his own teammate punching him in the face. Like, otherwise, he'd have probably been, a better thought of quarterback at the Jets. It's just his career fell apart and Fitzmagic took over.
And he had that awful kind of thing of breaking Eli's streak.
Yeah.
Which I think left a sour taste.
That was him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Left a lot sour taste.
Who was your coach that year?
Oh, that
McAdoo.
McAdoo about nothing.
You don't want to be the guy that takes over from the guy, do you?
No. And, basically, his name was mud, wasn't it?
I was pleased to see the Rams do well. I think the league requires Sean McVay and Matt Stafford to be playing well. And I'm not ready to be in a world where Matt Stafford doesn't have a cannon for an arm and is gunning people down the field.
It was nice to see that arm back. Like, it was last year was sad to watch.
Right, he was a shadow.
Like, I don't mind watching a bad Rams team because it's funny, but it was sad because he shouldn't have played last season. He shouldn't have started it.
No.
We stayed up and watched the first game, Bills, Rams, and you were just like, why is he playing? Why are they putting him through this? So Rams. My overreaction, it could be either way. That the Rams have found some hot late round draft action because basically,
how have you made that sound seedy?
Yeah,
the thing is, the people who listen to this don't have the benefit of seeing John's face when he said that.
The fact I was rubbing my thighs.
Benefit was the wrong word.
But that I expected more from the Seahawks. I thought this was going to be quite a big win for them, and it's turned out to be exactly the opposite. Because we'll see how they do in the next few weeks.
In that case, I'll jump in with an overreaction that I know is an overreaction, but I want it to be true. I love watching Baker Mayfield. He was really good in the second half this week. He put the Vikings to the sword. They only beat them by 3 points, but the Vikings, they threw this game away. But Baker, with like a 9-yard run where he got tackled round the neck, absolutely wrapped this up. And this was pissed off Baker doing pissed off Baker things.
Yep.
That is what I want to see. Make him the underdog for the season. Take all the expectation off him, and he will lead this team to within the gnat's whisker of the playoffs. I don't think the Bucs are getting in the playoffs.
Oh, God, no.
But in the division they're in, behind the Saints, ahead of the Panthers, ahead of the Falcons, the Bucs. They looked decent with Baker. Like, he missed some wide open throws. He missed some wide open players, full stop. But that's Baker.
That's Baker.
And then he pulls off some dimes. Like, there was a great pass to Mike Evans, which, Mike Evans, everyone's saying, well, this will be the year the streak ends. I don't think so. Baker is.
You remember how good Mike Evans made Johnny Football look?
Yes, at college. Yeah, absolutely. So this was one of my takeaways for the week. The Bucs could be right up there with the Saints this season.
Yeah,
the talent gap is there, but don't tell me Baker can't do it. He got a Browns team into the playoffs. Don't forget that. And
that's why Stefanski's still got a job.
Todd Bowles is coaching for his job.
Yeah,
Baker is playing for his career. If he doesn't make a success out of this season, he is relegated to 5 years as a backup,
or the CFL.
Or playing in a different league.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. The Vikings, you won 11 games by one score last season.
Yeah.
And now
they could lose 11 games by one score and you wouldn't notice a difference in the overall play, I reckon.
No. Jefferson looked pissed when he only got passed to twice in the second half of this game. He had like 100+ yards at the half and then 10 in the second half again.
Yeah.
Again, it's an overreaction to say their season hinges on this, but even if you average out those games from last season and say they lose 5 or 6 of those, they don't make the playoffs if they do.
No.
The Lions are the class of the NFC North. They are the class of the NFC North, and the Packers look better than anyone thought they would. The Vikings could easily be third.
Yeah.
They won't finish lower than that because the Bears are shit. I mean, Justin Fields isn't being looked after properly, and the team is rubbish. Chase Claypool gets his gloves in the same place as Kadarius Toney, clearly. It's not good.
Big Phil's lard gloves.
Teflon gloves, Inc.
Yeah.
Johnny's stone gloves.
It's not good. I'm looking forward to more Kadarius Toney chat.
Oh man!
But yeah, that was one of my things. The Bucks and Baker, I really enjoyed that second half.
I quite happily agree with you on that. I also think in terms of, I'd be interested to see if you guys see this as an overreaction, because I know the Chiefs without Kelsey are a different team, but I think the Lions could really go deep this season. I think they could go deep into the playoffs comfortably.
I think they're incredible fun. And
they don't have a weakness.
They have a weakness. They are, I think, average across the board.
But this is where, like, there's not one position where you can go, oh yeah, they're definitely weak there. They've got decent players.
Yeah.
And they've got a quarterback who is league average.
I think he's better. Like, I think currently Jared Goff is on the fringes of the top 10. He ended last season, across the second half of the season, as the number 5 quarterback in most categories.
He has the longest active streak of no interceptions in the league currently.
Yeah.
He's third all time.
And you know why? Because he has a coach who believes in him. He thought, I'm going to be used as a bridge. They're going to get rid of me. And they didn't. They said, actually, we can build around you. Don't forget, this is a guy who was good enough to get to the Super Bowl and then got crucified because his team got held to 3 points or whatever it was in the Super Bowl, which wasn't on him.
No.
Sean McVay couldn't scheme anybody open. Well, one guy got open. It was a great defensive play.
Yeah.
And that was the only time all game.
And he was hindered by... This was the start of Todd Gurley's knee injuries.
Todd Gurley's knee injury and the fact that you were playing the best defensive coach of all time.
Yeah.
And then the confidence drained out of Goff
you
because
were fighting Vader at the Death Star. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, like...
Yes. It's Undertaker WrestleMania.
Don't forget, when that happened, everyone looked at Goff and Carson Wentz and said, oh, Goff's a failure. Carson Wentz is going to be the man. Carson Wentz didn't win the Super Bowl for the Eagles. He technically got a ring because he played that year, but he was hobbling around.
He was brilliant.
He was
until
brilliant.
then, but he's never recovered.
Jared Goff is now easily the better of the two.
Yeah,
easily.
Oh, easily.
Not unfair.
Yeah,
and they have weapons. You put Jared Goff on this Jets team.
Wow.
Oh. See, that's what I'm saying. I love it. I absolutely love the coach. I love Dan Campbell. I know he talks a lot of nonsense, but everyone believes in him. You would run through a wall for that man.
Also, when he was talking about what he brings in every morning for breakfast.
I heard about the caffeine.
Yeah, he has the caffeine equivalent of 10 Red Bulls every morning.
Of course
he looks it as well.
So he has like a venti black coffee with two
espressos.
Yeah. He has.
He's going to be dead by 60. Like, he's got no chance.
Nah.
But
the heart only has so many beats, and he's using most of his this season.
But I love it. They made the most out of David Montgomery, which I love. I held on to David Montgomery in fantasy because I wanted to see what they could do. Don't forget what they got out of Swift and Williams last season as running backs. And I think this season the running backs are better. I like Montgomery.
I don't know if they're better, but I don't think I was worried it was a huge drop off on draft night, and then you watch the game and you're like, actually, this is pretty good. Jameer Gibbs is exciting. You know,
didn't get as many touches as people wanted, but they'll utilise him through the season.
It's week 1.
Exactly.
But also, David Montgomery gave no reason why he should. David Montgomery looked fantastic.
He looked really good. Yeah, absolutely. So the Lions, I agree. I don't think that's an overreaction. I think the Lions are a cert for the playoffs. An absolute nailed-on cert for the playoffs.
But the best stat of the year so far, I know, is that they've won one playoff game since JFK got assassinated.
Wow.
I think is amazing.
That is, I mean, it's a franchise steeped in misery. Let's be honest.
Can I have an overreaction?
Of course.
In what room should Tua put his MVP trophy?
Oh God.
It's
I'm sorry, why are people surprised that a guy with Tyreek Hill and Yalen?
Jalen Waddle, Jalen Waddell.
Yeah. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill as throwing options. A guy who was leading a team that had Jalen Hurts and Mac Jones in the quarterback room.
Yeah.
Why are people surprised
I know,
he's good?
Yeah.
No one's surprised.
No
he's
one's
good. When he came from college, I was a big advocate. I loved him. I have said all along, the knock on him is one more head injury and it's over. That still applies. Until that happens, the Dolphins are a top 6 team without question. The defense is solid. The offense is explosive. They will be brilliant. But every week I will look at that team and think, as soon as Tua's done. We discussed him earlier. Their backup is Mike White.
Yeah.
And then that team isn't as good. He's a gunslinger, sure, but the team isn't as good.
No.
Tua's decision-making is incredible.
It's brilliant.
He doesn't have a cannon for an arm, but his decision-making is fantastic. And
yes,
if they carry on at that rate, he will be the MVP.
Well, if he counts up this way, he's going to get 7,900 yards. So let's...
Of course.
Let's hold on.
That would be an overreaction.
That would be an overreaction.
But if they win 13, 14 games, he will be MVP.
Yeah. If he lasts that, for one, the Dolphins are gonna run away with the AFC East if he's fit.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
If he's not, then
they'll come back to the pack.
They'll come back, and we'll see. But yeah, they were fun. They were ballsy. You know, some of the 3rd and 15 call. You know, and just getting Tyreek Hill free. Loved it. And
chance of Tyreek Hill being the MVP?
No, wideouts don't get MVPs.
He would be the first one. But if he gets 2,000 yards, if he gets 2,000 yards, he'll be MVP.
I mean, I can't argue with it.
What's he on pace for at the moment? About 3,500 yards.
The week
he's on
alarm is playing very loudly.
I understand.
He's on pace for 3,655 yards.
If he gets 2,000 yards, could he be the MVP?
No.
Should he be the MVP?
No.
If he gets 2,000 yards, he should be the MVP.
Right, okay, fair enough.
But yeah,
You remember when Cooper Kupp should have been the MVP
yeah,
Yes.
and wasn't?
yeah. Okay, any more?
Well, yeah, I've got a few. I mean, we can. Let's talk about the Giants.
No, no, not. It's fine.
Let's overreact to the Giants. You lost 40-0 to the Cowboys,
Yes,
which is embarrassing.
it's appalling.
The Giants have, unfortunately, handed a massive contract extension to a quarterback who can't play.
But he got them into the playoffs last season, beat
The
the
team-
13-3 team.
The team got into the playoffs last season. He looked bad.
Same
You
thing.
can't have your cake and eat it. You
you're-
can't
you're-
tell me
no.
that the team got Daniel Jones in, but Zach Wilson can't lead the Jets. That's
Listen. That's fine. Daniel Jones, for all of my money, is a much better quarterback than Zach Wilson. Right? Welcome to the bar. I have no problem with that.
All tied.
What I have a problem with is signing him to a contract extension when you know he's already hit his ceiling. He's now on the way down again.
I have deep issues with the contract. I think in a year where we are so tight to the cap that we haven't paid Sack, we haven't got Sack onto a proper contract. It's basically just the franchise tag with an extra $500,000. Who it does worry me, but yeah, the Jones is fine if he's at least moderately protected. He wasn't. The O-line was a sieve, and it showed signs of improvement last year. It wasn't great, but it showed improvement, and that's all. It's possibly a week one overreaction, but they were abysmal, and Yeah, it needs. Daboll needs to do a lot of work this week to get them one back off the floor mentally and physically. They've put a lot on Jones. This contract. They've tried to bring in like Hyatt and Waller to help him out. They've let the statue out the door. But yeah, it was. As I say, I didn't watch this one live. I sort of woke up in the morning and saw the score on. I had like a text alert, and I was like, "Oh man, I drank too much last night and went back to sleep." And then I woke up again. It was still the same. Then I realised, oh no, this is real, and that was sad. So,
what's the best team you could play coming off a week where you got dicked? What's the best team in the league you could play?
Texans.
Almost.
Cardinals.
We play the Cardinals next week.
Okay, so I mean, we'll jump ahead and preview at some point, but right now I will take the Cardinals to beat your ass down.
Yeah, but
No. I will be back in the Cardinals.
That Washington Cardinals game was terrible.
It was terrible.
I mean, if this was the Cardinals team of even last year, there's no JJ. Like, there's a JJ Watt last year to break the lines. Like, the offensive line was bad, but like you had DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons. If he's not in the conversation for a defensive player of the year, he's injured. Like, affected. He is an absolute game changer.
He's one of the top 10 players in the league.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so, and I think we might find this is the sort of result that the Cowboys can produce this year, like the Patriots, well. Like the Patriots of like a few years ago, where they, I think at one point they didn't need. Their defense was so good, the offense didn't need to turn up.
Yeah, we were scoring a defense or special teams touchdown for 7 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Like, this, of course, is an overreaction.
Yeah.
But
it's worrying.
The Giants will not make the playoffs this year.
No.
I'd agree with you on that. The Cowboys and the Eagles rosters firmly put us in third in that division.
At best.
I agree. You're in a similar position to the Patriots, where you're just playing in a division with two or three best teams, with two at least definitely best teams.
Two of the three best teams in the NFC.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's fair.
Yeah. But yeah,
are we ready to move on from overreaction to some big questions?
Let's chuck some questions out.
I have a question for you for you two, and then an add-on to that question. My first question is, who was the best rookie quarterback in week 1? Because I would say it's difficult to tell.
I'm going to go with Anthony Richardson. Didn't win the game, but there was an energy that came with him I didn't see with the others. And considering that was a team that didn't have enough wideouts to have a team the week before, they looked possible they were going to win that game.
They could have.
Yeah.
They definitely could have.
So, and the thing with Bryce Young is you've mentioned earlier, he's got Dalton behind him. So if he didn't play a week with where he is, I don't think people would be too bothered. CJ Stroud got his first pass was to himself.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Anthony Richardson. For a guy we've spoken about who has such an ability to fall through the floor here, I thought he looked NFL quality.
So I agree, Anthony Richardson. I watched Anthony Richardson and thought, do you remember when RG3 couldn't protect himself? That's what this looks like. He just looks like another player who will flash hard, and at some point soon, someone will wipe him out. Trevor Lawrence actually said to him when they met on the field after the game, learn to protect yourself. Because don't forget, Richardson missed the last few plays of the game, was replaced by Gardner Minshew because he got injured and they were worried. he looks like RG3. He isn't as accurate as RG3, but every time he's looking for the hero play, take off and run, and he doesn't slide.
But I see this like RG3. He's here for a good time. He's not here for a long time, and I'm looking forward to watching that good time.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what I saw. Out of him, Bryce Young, and Stroud, I thought he was the best.
I think so.
I thought Stroud looked gun shy, but
I mean, also that is a stud defense he's come up against in his first game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
but I thought Bryce Young had some really good moments. He had some terrible interceptions. Basically, the same interception twice that he threw across the middle. But otherwise, I thought he looked good. I thought Bryce Young was second and Stroud was third.
yeah.
People have. I mean, it's recency bias, isn't it? People have a poor memory when it comes to it. Like the most interceptions by a rookie is Peyton Manning, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Who
Did all right.
Yeah,
he did okay.
he's done okay. So
Started and ended his career with the most interceptions in the league.
I mean, wasn't Brett Favre's first completed pass other than to himself a pick six?
Yeah. His first pass was to himself. His next pass that was actually caught was a pick six.
So yeah, there's plenty of time.
There was two players this week had touchdowns, passes to themselves. Desmond Ridder and either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, their first passes of the season were to themselves.
Should we mention like the other, not rookies, but like
Ridder, Howell,
Love. So
players who haven't got 10, 15 games right.
Yeah, like really early in careers.
Ridder isn't going to be an NFL standard quarterback.
No.
Just does not look it.
But in that team, I don't think he needs to be. He's not the focus of that team.
He's not the focus of that team, but
I think it's probably not a bad thing if they're not great. That like there's some quarterbacks coming through next year. They can take one of them, or
he looks to me a bit like when the Vikings and the Titans had Christian Ponder and Jake Locker, whereby they pick these guys and they want to play them, they want to see what they've got, but really you already know what you've got.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. So I'm not sure that they're going very far with them. Sam Howell for me was so up and down. He had some really good runs with his legs. He picked out a couple of really nice passes, and then he looked horrible on occasion as well. What did he play last year? One game?
Not much.
I think he finished played the last game of the season. Absolutely reserving judgment on Howell. I think I want to like him. Like, there's something about him.
He's very gung-ho.
But he's another Tyler Heineke.
Yeah.
Taylor Heineke. Like, for me, that's the sort of player I like. It doesn't necessarily equate to NFL success.
No.
But I like to watch them. I don't. Maybe he might be the answer. We haven't seen enough yet, but at the moment, I'd say he's trending in that direction.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, we've already said, looked amazing, and that takes me to the second part of my question I had about rookie quarterbacks. Jordan Love, Patrick Mahomes, are they proof that sitting behind a good quarterback, obviously Aaron Rodgers is better than good, was until he couldn't walk, and Alex Smith, say what you will, ended his career as a good quarterback.
So I need to draft a quarterback, sit them behind a great quarterback, cripple that great quarterback.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah,
That's what I need to do.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because Alex Smith and Aaron Rodgers in the end. But no, what I'm saying is teams are so quick to rush. Like we said, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, they're being thrown in. Anthony Richardson, they're being thrown in. Trey Lance is proof that it doesn't often work that you take a kid and give them a job and say, do that, and they're perfect straight off.
Yeah, you're the CEO, kid.
Yeah.
Go and make some money.
I know that first and second round picks, first round especially, are flashy and everyone wants to see them. But if you want your team to be successful, you should be encouraging your team to treat that player in the best way possible, and they need to learn.
It's the example could be in San Francisco, where the kid who they've given, like, it's not a flashy pick that they've used,
Mr. Irrelevant.
But he has the least flashy pick you could use.
Well, no, they used to make a big song and dance of it, didn't they?
They had a party for Mr. Irrelevant. I don't know if they still do it.
No, but like he's thrown a lot of footballs in competitive. I know it's college, but like Anthony Richardson had thrown 130 passes.
13, was it like 11 games?
11 games. Trey Lance, I think, had thrown 140.
Yeah, but if
Brock Purdy had played for 4 years.
Yeah.
And I know you look at, these players who are so like they come in, they're flash, but they are inexperienced, and there's something. I think they're going to get more miss than hit from that type of pick.
I absolutely agree.
I think sometimes when it comes big, it'll be be great. It's going to be, you're going to see less of that than draft busts.
I also think for like Desmond Ridder, all he has to do is win his games.
Yeah.
He did this week.
Yeah.
If he does that 2 more weeks, that's a fan base who gets solidly behind him.
This is something you won't necessarily remember, but a young quarterback who was deemed as a star, played at Notre Dame, massively, a place that people look to and think, well, they used to anyway, look to that college and think, what are they turning out? If I told you that they had a star quarterback from Notre Dame, played 3 years there, threw 60 touchdowns and 27 picks in his 3 seasons, I think he had 5 rushing touchdowns as well, and only started 1 year in the NFL when he was drafted. Do you know who I'm talking about and who drafted him? It was 2011, I believe. Because he was drafted by a team who threw him in as a starter, and he was awful. His stats were some of the worst you've ever seen. He threw 3 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, and his pass completion was only just above 50% for the season. He then spent 3 seasons not playing, and then he had a handful of backup starts over a few years with the league. But he was the precursor to a man who played in college and was brilliant in college, Cam Newton. So Cam Newton was drafted by the Panthers. The reason they could get Cam Newton is because they'd been so pap because they drafted Jimmy Clausen.
Yes.
And it was proof that some players will come out of college with great stats and be terrible because you haven't given them a chance to learn. And some, like Cam Newton, will come out and lift your franchise. But it's literally a throw of a dart because Notre Dame and Jimmy Clausen were like, this guy's amazing. The knock on him was leadership. A bit like Rosen, who failed. But you've had other players. Baker, we were told, well, he's the number 1 pick, but he can't really do X, Y, and Z. But he got the Browns to the playoffs. He's still going. We were told Sam Darnold was going to be amazing. Sam Darnold has been anything but amazing.
It's interesting to just see how players are judged. Like Stetson Bennett,
right,
was a 2-time national champion.
Yeah,
stud in college, 5th round pick.
Yeah,
won't play a game this season.
No.
It's amazing. Just
it depends how the games are taken.
The hype train.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Another one from years ago. I'm getting well off track. Do you remember Cardale Jones? He stepped in for Alabama when they lost like 9 quarterbacks in a season and got them all the way to the title game and I think it was Alabama, and he was brilliant. He got drafted by, I'm going to say the Bills, and then failed to dislodge anyone. Kyle Orton or someone who was leading them and just disappeared. I think he started 1 game as a Bill and maybe 1 as a Charger. But this is what I mean. Like it's literally a throw of a dart because if you throw them in, they can be off and running, brilliant, or terrible, and career is over. Sam Darnold. Do you remember? Like we sat and watched and thought this is the new Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
He's now back up at the Niners, which might be the best place he's ever been.
Yeah.
And I still really want him to do well. But really, it's over already.
Yeah.
And that's such a shame. Yes, you can throw players in and they can be successful. Cam Newton was brilliant. He was brilliant. RG3 for a year was brilliant. Andrew Luck was brilliant. But that was a run of quarterbacks that were brilliant. And now you've seen a run of quarterbacks that are not brilliant and are not given time to develop. Jordan Love, if you'd have played him in year 1, would have sucked.
Yeah.
Absolutely sucked. He would have been the Brett Huntley, right? He would have sucked. But he's had 3 years to learn. Patrick Mahomes, if you'd have thrown him in on day 1, would have been brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
He just would have been. But he had time to learn.
He did.
And I don't understand why teams are not more carefully choosing when they draft players and where they can sit them.
Yeah, it's...
Jimmy G, right? He sat behind Brady, he developed, and say what you like about the guy, he's been to a Super Bowl, he's been to another title game, And for the most part, all he does is win.
He does.
Like, his teams tend to win when he's on the field. He had time to learn. It amazes me that teams don't spend more time with their youngsters, allowing them to learn. The Niners didn't have to get rid of Trey Lance. He could have sat there and been their quarterback a few years from now. But they have the luxury of knowing that Purdy is young and is probably going to be there for a few years. And now you've got Darnold there.
And also, you've got Purdy on Mr. Irrelevant money.
Absolutely. I get it, but don't forget, Dak wasn't drafted to be the starter.
Well, Dak was a 4th round pick, wasn't he?
He got to sit for a little while, and then, Romo happened, and he got injured. But it amazes me that teams automatically think my 1st round pick will be any good. Likelihood is Stroud, Richardson, or Bryce Young, one of those 3 at least will be a bust in the next 18 months and will be gone. Because that's what happens.
It is what happens.
Probably 2 of them, and one of them will be okay or good. And that's what happens. So, and then one of them, 5 years from now, we'll be talking about, because they'll be back, like Geno or whatever. But anyway, that's irrelevant. I'm sorry, I've rambled, but it struck me while I was watching those players get chased around at the weekend that why are you throwing them in? Anthony Richardson's got Gardner Minshew sitting there. I know you don't like him, but he's okay.
He's viable.
And you could give Richardson time to get in. He needs to learn to slide. He's really exciting. He will be knocked out of games before the end of this season. He's already missed the end of this one.
Yeah.
He'll probably miss multiple games through injury.
He's just a taller Justin Fields.
Justin Fields is a brilliant example. Oh my God, Justin Fields is a brilliant example.
Yeah.
Because he is talented, but he didn't play enough in college. He hasn't sat in the NFL, and the Bears are pinning all their hopes on him, and it will not work. Talented or not, he cannot make that Bears team a winner.
No.
Anyone think he can? Good or otherwise?
I love Justin Fields. He's so exciting. That Bears team, that Bears organisation is just an absolute car crash, and I feel for him. And Justin Fields is going to be great in 2 years' time.
On a different team.
When he's playing for Carolina or something, yeah. Someone with a head coach who works, yeah.
So, that was my big question. We'll come back for someone else's big question after this short break.
Okay, welcome back. Good break.
Not for Paul. He came back wondering why it comes out hot.
Much like the New York Giants, I had a warm turd this week.
Okay, so a second big question, but hopefully with a shorter answer. And also, by the way, Cardale Jones was Ohio State Buckeyes, not Alabama.
He beat Alabama in the end.
You don't want to be getting that wrong. What I want to know, my big question is, how long does Ryan Tannehill have, and how bad must Will Levis be?
Well, he's injured, isn't he?
Well,
but yeah,
okay.
It was. If we were going to have another round of overreactions, my next one was going to be how long until Will Levis is appearing.
He threw 3 terrible interceptions to Tannehill, and was solely the reason that the Tetons did not win this game.
I felt bad because I like Ryan Tannehill. I think he's been an underrated quarterback.
I agree,
but that sucks at the weekend. I don't he's not protected enough. The team for the last few years has been highly coached. Like they are better than the sum of their parts. But now they are only 2 parts or 3 parts: Simmons, Henry, Hopkins. And if Tannehill isn't working, then it's pointless.
So Will Levis is injured.
Yeah.
Malik Willis is the other name. Sounds very similar. That's why. How bad must he be? Like how much faith must they lack? Because they didn't bring him into this game either.
No.
And with barely competent quarterback play, they could have won this game.
Well, I think is Malik Willis also struggling with an injury?
That I couldn't tell you. I do not follow the Tetons roster moves that closely, but it concerned me from their point of view.
I was of the belief Malik Willis had a talent injury.
You have to have something to injure it. But
yeah.
But I don't know. It felt like a cheap game to lose when you basically threw it to the opposition. You literally threw it to the opposition. And I just wondered, how long does Tannehill have? Because as much as I agree with you. I like him. I think he's been an overlooked quarterback during his time in the NFL. He played like Miami Dolphins era Chad Henne at the weekend. That was bad, Chad Henne. I mean,
Bad Henny.
yeah, bad Henne. He played like Jags level Blaine Gabbert. Do you remember that?
I do.
Blaine Gabbert has a Super Bowl ring now as backup on the Bucks, but back in the day,
So doesn't
2013 for the Jags,
doesn't Chad Henne have 2?
he does with the Chiefs. Back
Yeah.
up for the Chiefs.
Yeesh.
I mean, that's fine. David Carr got one for you guys, didn't he?
He did.
That's fine. That's your level. That's okay. But, you know, when they were starters, Chad Henne, Blaine Gabbert, piss poor.
Yeah.
Piss poor.
But Malik Willis is a very different type of quarterback. So you need to... I don't think you could go from a Tannehill to a Malik Willis easily. That requires different type of play. I think, the moment Will Levis is fit, that mayonnaise drinking weirdo is coming right in.
I think you're probably right.
Also, like, I sort of hoped it's back to overreactions, but I was sort of hoping for more from the Saints than getting a fluky win over the Titans.
You say fluky, but they dialed up a 40-yard pass when they needed like 2 yards.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Seeing all the NFL Films account on Instagram, that was all Carr.
Yeah.
Just talking to Shaheen on the sideline.
Derek Carr was really good in this game, considering they did not really seem to have a plan. He was very good. I do not rate Dennis Allen.
No, that's my problem.
Derek Carr was very good and will continue to be very good.
Bad coaches have gone far in the playoffs.
'Tis true. Right. Before we look ahead, which we will do,
Yeah.
I have some questions that will come up weekly. We will now go through them and we will tally them through the season and see what we think.
Stat sheet, John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know
I like this sort
who
of
you
thing,
think had the biggest balls of week 1. Dan Campbell go fake punt on his own 20-yard line.
Yeah, and I think it's him and is it Ben Johnson, the OC there?
Yep.
To do that, like no one called a fake punt in their own 20-yard zone, like in their own thing, the whole of last season,
Zone, yeah.
and they did it in the first 9 minutes of the game.
It was beautiful. They also are 7 for 7 on fake punts since Dan Campbell took over. So Dan Campbell, or this is my nominee, Sean Payton for beginning the game with an onside kick.
Yes.
Now, the onside kick didn't work because there was what I love to hear referred to as illegal touching, which sounds like something that Paul should probably be locked up for.
It's why we can't support the Browns.
It is absolutely why we can't support anything that any Browns quarterback, past, present, or future, may or not have done. But illegal touching. But do not nullify the fact that Sean Payton thought, do you remember when I did this in the Super Bowl? Let's have another go. And I love that.
I think if Sean Payton or this just year thinks, I'm just going to play the hits.
The greatest hits of Sean Payton.
You know, great, fine. Like, the Broncos ain't going to win anything anyway. Let's just have a laugh.
I love the fact they traded for Will Lutz, by the way, because he wanted his reliable kicker and he missed a PAT and a field goal.
Yeah.
They lost by 1 point. So, yeah, they're my 2 initial nominees. Anybody else want to nominate some nuts?
So I'm going to go for Monty Ossenfort.
Okay, that sounds like some sort of horrible operation.
He is the general manager of the Cardinals for not immediately sacking Jonathan Gannon on the spot for his revving up the players' speech.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
that was terrible.
Who took the bus? They're all multimillionaires, you dingwad. None of them came here on the bus.
It was not good. It was not good.
Tua's throw to Tyreek Hill on the 3rd and 15 and basically threw it, into coverage because it's Tyreek Hill and he'll make himself free. I liked that a lot. I don't know. It's not balls, but can I have a separate play for heads up play of the week? Because
we'll have our sweetest play of the week.
now, it's not sweet, but Buckner realizing that
Yes.
that the ball was in play, punched it out, got the touchdown. I thought, you sat there watching, going, oh yeah, that's that.
So yeah,
Unfortunately for
Tank
Tank Bigsby,
just stood there holding a ball that was live. And
didn't realise. Punched it out.
He is so lucky they won that game, or he would have been.
Well, he scored the winning touchdown as well. So good. Whatever. But not balls. But I just want to as a heads up player of the week. If whatever.
Well, I think that does take balls because I would say that's biggest balls of the week because I don't think many other players would try that.
It's an experienced pro. Being playing to whatever whereas
he played the whistle. There was no whistle. I get that. I'm not sure that constitutes exactly what I was looking for.
No, but I basically I'm trying to think of things because I know for me it's the fake punt. It was brilliant, and the fact that they won as well. Balls is you can have big balls, but it doesn't matter if you don't win.
That is true.
If you win, then your balls are even sweeter.
I think I'm going to go with the Saints for trusting their... All right, Derek Carr's got equity in the league.
Yeah.
But your first proper game with your quarterback, with somebody he doesn't have a relationship with, going to the bench and going...
So Pete Carmichael for dialing up a 40-yard play.
Just let... All right, Derek, go and throw, go route to him. That's balls.
That is balls. Okay, so we've got 3 nominations when there's 3 of us. That's tricky.
Jordan Love was 9 for 11 on 3rd and 4th downs. All of them successful. They're all, so the 2 third downs he missed, he hit the 4th down. So 2 4th down plays with a quarterback very much on the line. I think they believe in him. So some balls to let Jordan Love do it on 4th down.
I don't know how we reach a resolution on this.
I like the fake punt.
I'm happy to go with the fake punt.
I'm also happy to give a chord on the fake
Dan
punt.
Campbell has the biggest
big balls of the week.
Your biggest flopper of the week. You cannot smile at the word flopper.
Aaron Rodgers' Achilles tendon.
Oh, I mean, I really like it. I was going for Kadarius Toney losing his hand mid-game. There are some massive floppers in the NFL, I should think.
Yeah. But I'm finding it hard not to think.
The New York Giants O-line?
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, Brian Dable, basically. Why did he leave all your starters out there, by the way? You've paid Danny Dimes all that money and left him out there getting crushed when you were 40-0 down.
People have paid to be there, literally, people, they should be able to...
They want to see him die.
Well, no, but they should be able to get something out of it, even if it was
Throwing
just
something at him afterwards.
even if it was just a garbage time touchdown.
Biggest flopper, would it be, and this is just a thought, but the Cardinals are clearly tanking, yet they seem to have picked up a quarterback who might actually be competent. That's not what you want. They lost by 4 points. That's not ideal for them. They want to lose.
That's a poor Washington team, though.
It is
I don't think it's a good defense.
It's a good defense, but that team ain't making the playoffs.
Shouldn't do. Something's gone horribly wrong if it does.
Seahawks, just in general.
Yeah. I mean, the Bills. Are the Bills your biggest floppers of the week?
Yeah, I mean...
Because Aaron Rodgers goes out of the game after 2 minutes and you don't win.
Yeah.
And your stud quarterback, the cover star of the flopper of the week is Josh Allen because the Madden curse got him immediately.
So, flopper of the week, are we going specifically Josh Allen or the Bills? Because I would say the Bills.
I think the Bills.
He threw 3 interceptions to the same man.
That's a fair point. If we're sticking to people only, it could be Josh Allen.
Let's go with Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is our flopper of the week.
Well,
go on, because
how do you celebrate a $55 million a year contract?
By throwing 82 yards and no touchdowns.
Yeah, being sacked
4
constantly.
times,
being Myles Garrett's
I'm never gonna, say anything bad about Joe Burrow. He's class, big fan, but that fucking sucked.
Do you know what doesn't suck is that massive spider that's just crawled along behind you and really made me jump. I mean, that's great. That's live commentary. This is just turned into a nature program on here.
Yeah.
I need Chris Packham and Terry Nutkins.
Paul has safely taken the spider and is taking it outside now.
Yep, excellent stuff. Taking it outside and clearly planting it in the bin.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look, I've closed the book.
Josh Allen.
It's Josh Allen this week because they had to win that game.
Yeah.
Hottest seat after 1 week.
After 1 week,
See,
tough.
I cannot believe
Eberfluss. Matt Eberfluss
No.
with the Bears.
Brandon Staley.
That
Brandon Staley's seat. He came in with a hot seat.
it is a hot seat.
They lost.
There is no shame in losing to the Dolphins. They're a great team.
But he's a bad coach.
For me, Sean McDermott.
Really?
He's got so much credit in the
But
bank.
this is the prove it season
He'll
for me.
never get sacked.
If they don't do something substantial this season, they don't get to a championship game, he will not have a job.
Can I offer Matt Canada, not head coach, but the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yes, you can. That is
Because-
my next nomination.
Yeah, they were fucking appalling.
They are
Anemic.
wasting Kenny Pickett. If Kenny Pickett is half as good as we think he is, they are wasting him. I will second Matt Canada.
Because as well, like all they did was went, should we test the middle linebacker? And you're like, you do realize that's Fred Warner. Like he's really fucking good. Like that's the one bit of the defense. Once you get past the line, he's the next good bit.
I mean, I'll give the 49ers their credit, and I'm only going to do it this week while Jim and Gary aren't here.
They were damn good. We haven't barely mentioned them.
No,
I think
They absolutely shellacked the Steelers.
they're the one team looking like the Cowboys and the
Picked them for the Super
49ers.
Bowl. They're really good.
How
Same.
do you scheme for that defense? Because you can't go for the linebackers because they're obscenely good. You can't attack the cornerbacks because they just seem to shit out cornerbacks.
The line is quick.
And yeah, you've got the defensive player of the year on the edge, which is terrifying.
Yeah, I picked them. I'm sticking with them. But yeah, for me, Matt Canada is a great shout. Kenny Pickett wasn't used well last year. Isn't being used well this year. They've been anemic on offense for a while now, quite a long time
Does
now.
Mike Tomlin have a hot seat?
No, I don't believe he does because of the organisation. What have they had? Four head coaches since the 60s. I don't think he does, but I think there would be an expectation of a sacrifice, and it would be Matt Canada.
Yeah.
So I will carry the motion. Matt Canada as the hottest seat. Sweetest play of the week. It cannot be the same as your biggest balls of the week. So you can't have that, but you can have one. We can have one of the others that you mentioned if you like. I think the Shaheen. The Shaheen pass from Carr or the Gibson return touchdown.
Gibson return touchdown was great.
It was a sweet old play.
It was a sweet old play.
I did like
Game winning.
Yeah, game winning. I was a big fan of the 83-yard Brees Hall run.
That was a good run for a man who didn't have a leg last year.
Yeah,
But I would nominate and wish to stick with Gibson. I think that because straight up from Hard Knocks, straight to being a Jet last week, straight onto the field to win the game at the end.
Yeah, it's nice.
I mean,
In this season, story,
Exactly.
I like the whole thing about it.
Dissuade me.
I was a very big fan of Bian Robinson's first touchdown.
That was good.
Oh,
Yeah.
now the stutter step was good. Oh, how do we? Oh, that was good
Because
he
that-
effectively made two people collide as well
Yeah.
on that way.
He
in.
made
Three people
he made-
miss, two collide. It was pretty sweet.
What do you want your running back to do? Okay, let's have him pass catching. He did that. Let's make him make men miss. He did that. Let's let him run through tackles. He did that. He did and score a touchdown. Every single thing you want from a running back in the modern game, he did in that play.
Oh, okay. So how do we break the deadlock on this one? 'Cause-
You two both came up with Gibson first, and you didn't think of that touchdown.
No, I did not.
I didn't, but now you mentioned the Bijan one.
And
I think the Bijan one deserves a lot of credit. I'm still sticking with Gibson because they won the game.
Yeah, and
On
I
that
get
play.
the feeling you look at Bijan, if he stays fit, he might have quite a few sweetest plays of the week.
I thought he was brilliant.
He was great.
I don't think potentially we gave enough credit earlier. Just the running game in Atlanta. Tyler Algier.
2 touchdowns. Yeah,
You've still got Cordell Patterson.
who didn't play this week.
He's back.
Inactive.
He's back training,
Yeah.
Not going to play this week.
isn't he? I thought he was.
He's in my fantasy squad. He's not going to play this week.
One of the very few good things for the Pats, by the way, this week, who barely had a word. A 43-yard kick return from Ty Montgomery. Remember him?
Yeah, yeah.
He was really good once. Anyway, yes, okay, so I believe sweetest play. We will stick But I do think that Bijan Robinson will reappear.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be very exciting. I think.
Do you want to quickly look ahead, pick a game each that we think is worthwhile for next week? That is the sound of three people quickly looking up next week's fixtures because we are #organised.
Well, Chiefs Jags is
the Chiefs could conceivably be 0-2. I would not be surprised.
That could be quite a good game, that one.
I'd like to give you a basement dweller. I'm very excited to see Colts versus Texans. Two rookie quarterbacks, both with terrible teams, both with a point to prove, who both lost in week 1. That could be fun.
I mean, I'm torn between wanting to watch you guys lose to the Cardinals, which would be absolutely hilarious. Zach Wilson getting absolutely steamed by the Cowboys, which will also be brilliant. And then, but here's what I'm nominating genuinely: Ravens Bengals.
Yeah,
because the Bengals could be 0-2, and a bad 0-2, because the Ravens did not play well, but they won. Both these teams have to be better than last week.
Yeah.
Right division, wrong game. Brown Steelers. I want to watch Matt Canada's offense get absolutely steamrolled by Myles Garrett.
It could work. He's not going to be on the hot seat very long after that.
No. Everyone was saying the Bengals were going to be superb, and the Browns on defense looked amazing.
They were getting to Burrow on an average of 1.9 seconds. Which is this? I think it's the sixth fastest time.
Very few things I've ever done in 1.9 seconds.
And if we're very quiet, you can hear Kenny Pickett tensing all the way across the Atlantic,
like a very taut Achilles tendon.
He's going to be rolled up his legs this week.
Brown Steelers is generally as well quite a fun game. They truly hate each other.
Oh, don't forget when Myles Garrett beat Mason Rudolph with his own helmet. That's the sweetest play of the century.
Yeah.
It's still one of the best things I've ever seen. I know we shouldn't condone violence, but we watch a violent sport, and that was funny when a man got his ass handed to him with his own helmet.
And
he's still at the Steelers.
He's like number 3, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ow!
We got Kirk in prime time this week.
Oh,
Thursday night. He's playing the Eagles.
Oh Jesus Christ.
So
I'm so glad I can't stay up and watch it this week. What a shame.
Unfortunately, I can. So
Jalen Carter's gonna absolutely feast on him.
I think so.
I hope not. I've got Jefferson on a couple of fantasy teams, so I mean,
he'll be fine. He's
fine. But yeah.
Anything else before we sign off and run away into the distance for another week? Hopefully to be rejoined by those 2 gloating Niners fans that we know. I've got nothing.
No, I've got nothing, but
I've heard about Paul. He's got nothing.
Just hot turds.
On that bombshell, we have plumbed to new depths this week. We'll be back next week with more classified Paul's results.
Yes.
And a follow-up on biggest balls, biggest flopper, and sweetest play.
Hot turds.
And more news about your bowels. Thank you, and good night.